A beautiful Monday morning. It is, yes, the first day of September 2025. And as we love to say, we are in the Ember months. The first 8 months of the year have come and gone. And we are back again. It's a brand new month, a brand new week as well. It just ties in so perfectly. You are listening to the Smooth Dial on Vegas Radio Smooth 98.1. We love music and you know we love life as well. No doubt about that one. It is 33 minutes past 6 a.m. Ayokunmi here with you, ready to walk you into the world of business on the smooth breakfast. This is Business Express brought to you by IntoSwitch. It's going to be 15 minutes of talking about what's going on in the world of business and everything in between. So sit back, relax, join us as we dive into some very interesting matters this morning. We're talking about ports, congestion, and so on and so forth. So to keep up with us. You can do that on WhatsApp as always. The number is 08091199091. That's 0911 9990981. That's the WhatsApp number to keep up with us. Also, join us on YouTube. We are streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. So it's all about the Nigerian Ports Authority moving to ease Lagos ports congestion via the Delta ports. And joining me to take a look at this and give us some insight, among other things, is Daisy Erharhire. She is a business banking lead at Raven Bank. Daisy, very good morning to you. Great to have you on the show once again.
Good morning. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Lagos. It's great to be here again. It's been a while.
Yes, indeed, it's been a while. And looking forward to jumping into this particular topic of discussion because it's something that has been making rounds at different points in time, talking about focus on the port here in Lagos. Why not focus attention on other ports that we have in Nigeria and all that? Well, the Port Authority are actually doing that or looking to do that. Now, that being said, from your perspective, do you think that reviving the ports in Delta can actually genuinely decongest Lagos ports, or will importers still prefer the ports in Lagos despite whatever promised reforms are on the cards?
Okay. So I mean, first of all, it is great news that NMPA are actually looking at reviving the port. I don't think we've heard so much about that in a while. So yeah, I do think that to a great extent, if things are put in place and the port is revived, definitely the congestion we have at Lagos Port definitely reduce, right?
Mm,
Of course, we also know that this also affects traffic internally within Lagos because
oh,
when goods
yes.
arrive at the port, they have to transfer them to the different states for the different business owners and the rest of them. So all of that movement will also reduce drastically in Lagos, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
of course, for the importers, um, you know how they say if you're comfortable with something, it takes a lot of maybe convincing or pictorial evidence or build a level of trust for you to now say, okay, this place is now functional. So let's start channeling our business to these other areas. So they might stick with Lagos for a while, but I believe, like I said, if they are like there's a clear confirmation that okay, this has been pulled through, the port is now functional the way it should, then yes, I believe importers to also look at taking their business to the Delta ports as well and not just focusing on Lagos anymore.
Most definitely. I mean, like you mentioned, it might take a little bit of time
Yeah,
for these adjustments to actually be, should I say, adhered to in quotes, because everybody, uh, a lot of people just, focus on, oh, the Lagos ports here, I need to pass my goods through here and so on, and
yeah,
the congestion, within ports and even within the metropolis as well, because,
yeah,
talking about all the containers and everything, it can be an
yeah.
absolute nuisance when you think about it. But let's go down memory lane a bit here and talk about the erosion. I mean, they reminded us, the first port in Nigeria was built in Delta as far back as 1472. Now that is
And
a
a long time.
long time ago. I mean, how did Nigeria allow these ports to actually fall into decline? Because the possibilities, just bearing in mind how long ago, endless, really.
like I'm wondering what was happening in 1472, like how like who even came up with the thought of creating a port as at that time? Of course, from history, it says that it's the Portuguese
Hmm.
guys, right? But that's a very long time. Anyway, you know how a new administration or a new government comes in place and some persons continue from where was left, other
Yeah,
persons, put up something that will either impact the country positively or negatively, right? Um, I feel as Lagos became like the center of attraction, the center place for businesses, um, other government and administration that came into power were just focusing more on Lagos, and business owners too do not mind. Of course, as Nigerians, when certain adjustments are made, we just follow. Yeah, we complain here and there, but at the end of the day, we follow through what is existing, what is functional, and I feel that also just gave, the government and past administration up until now the, the confidence to just say, what, let's just focus on Lagos and keep maintaining the ports here in Lagos, keep working on the infrastructure. Because the truth is, in as much as the Portuguese guys actually built this for us, somebody has to keep maintaining it, right?
definitely,
And
definitely.
we I don't think we want a foreigner to keep maintaining and running things for us here in Nigeria when we can give opportunity to other people to do that job. So somebody has to keep maintaining it. When you're neglecting the direct channels, you're not maintaining the infrastructure, eventually it becomes less functional, right? And everybody just moves to the one that is, functional at the moment. So I just feel our past government and administration didn't really pay so much attention when it got to the point that, what, we need to like fix this guys to just channel all their energy to Lagos. And in the long run, like I said, business owners, people just teleport all the way here and just move on, right? Of course, it may not be favorable for them in terms of fare, but they have to keep going. Business have to keep going. People have to put food on their table, and you know, basically operations have to just keep going. So, in my own opinion, I just feel it was just neglected, right?
Definitely,
Things that should have been done
definitely.
were not done, and we just focused more on Lagos.
Mhm. Indeed. Now, looking at what is going on here, talking about the ports in Delta and trying to bring life back to the other ports apart from the ports here in Lagos. How do we even begin to compete with the Togos and the Benis of this world when it comes to that particular sector? And do you think that having uniform tariffs will attract importers, bring them here away from those other countries?
Uh, it's funny that I mean I was reading through the article and I can see that I mean I'm not a business owner, but yeah, from the article I could see that importing things to Togo is way more cheaper than here in Nigeria. How did we get to that point? So the only way to compete with these other already thriving regions is obviously reducing the tariff, right? Ensuring that cargo clearance are faster. You don't, you don't, goods should not get to the port and we're having a back and forth on clearing it. Or of course, there's a mix of corruption there, right? Probably
Hmm.
see you get things or things like, oh, they're seizing your goods because they feel you're supposed to pay certain amount more than what you already budgeted for. So all of those delay, all of those disruptions has to reduce drastically. Tariff plan has to be fair enough for people to now say, okay, you know what, Nigeria has a more balanced and fair tariff. So we can now,
Okay.
start moving things through Nigeria port as well. So it would, like I said previously, it will take a while for all of this to all of this adjustment to happen. But if we're willing to, like I said, lower tariffs on our end, ensure that cargo clearance are not delayed. Whatever you think that the owner of the goods should pay, it should be communicated ahead of time. Once it gets to the respective ports, clear them as soon as possible. No
Right.
unnecessary delay, no asking of extra fares and all of that. in quote, corruption that goes underground. So yeah,
All
um,
right. All right, all right. Thank you for that, Daisy. Now, I'm just curious because when we talk about, should I say, bringing life back to the past, reviving, and so on and so forth, I then begin to think about the opportunities for employment and so on and so forth. Do you think this is going to provide short-term or long-term employment, jobs, careers for different people as things progress?
of course, of course. When you open a new headquarters, I mean any other region, you literally open opportunities for employment, for jobs. So yeah, you're looking at, building, constructing, the raging, you're looking at opening more warehouses because Delta Port is close to other neighboring regions like Anambra, Bini, Port Harcourt, Rivers, and the likes. So in the long run, we business owners don't need to worry about maybe having a warehouse here in Lagos where they need to store their goods. If for any reason they cannot transport it within the time frame they expect to transport it, all of that activity can now be happening in the respective locations because most, if you look closely, most of the business owners we have are also in these regions, Abia, Anambra, Onitsha,
Mm.
right? So it gives them ability to now create maybe warehouses or offices in this region, thus creating employment for these persons in these respective regions. And of course, in Delta as well, and the Delta port, yes, it will create more opportunities. And in the long term, you're seeing opportunities in the maritime operations. You're seeing opportunities in the custom department, logistics as well, right? So
Right,
yeah,
right.
definitely, both short term and long term, there is a lot that the respective neighboring cities and Delta Port itself would be opening up, would be creating for people in those regions.
Right, right, right. All right, Daisy. I mean, time has actually flown by, and we need to wrap it up. But before I let you go this morning, on a final note, looking at everything we've talked about and looking at the trajectory that we are on right now, do you think Nigeria could become West Africa's maritime hub once again? Could it happen?
I want I want, I want, I want us. I mean, it would be great if when we say something, we would follow through, right? I'm
Right.
sure that if we give Delta Port a chance, when I mean a chance, like revive it, um, the administration that is an NPA might also look at reviving Calabar. We have Calabar Port, we have Rivers
Hmm.
Port that are not functional as well. So yes, if Delta Ports, take that step of um getting revived, getting open again, I'm sure maybe later in the month or in the year, they also look at reviving the likes of Calabar and Rivers. And when that happens, come on, I mean, um um will definitely be outspacing Ghana and Ivory Coast. And of course, if there are no corruptions, if we are consistent in our policies, definitely, I believe that Nigeria will be one of the West African biggest marine hub again. So just stick to what we say basically, right? Um I mean I'm really looking forward to seeing that Delta Port is open, right? And
Right.
like I said, hopefully that would give them the avenue to look into other ports and let's get operations running again in these respective regions.
Hmm. From your mouth to the ears of the Lord, really. I mean, you talk about a big game, but if you do not put the work in and follow through,
Yeah.
it's just a waste of time when all is said and done. Let me take a message here from Tayo. Happy new month to you as well, Tayo. He says, I think lowering rates may attract importers to the various ports. It would even lessen the burden on our roads, broken down vehicles, accidents,
Yes.
and the like.
Yes.
True
Yeah.
story.
Very
Like I
true.
mentioned earlier, all the containers and trucks and so on and so forth, all over the place.
Yes.
Absolute nightmare for those who live in the city of Lagos. But hey,
Mm,
fingers
Though,
crossed.
though, though it's sorry to go. It's just sad that how when things increase in Nigeria, they say we never go back to where we are coming from.
When it goes up, it stays up.
Yes, it stays
That
up.
sort of thing.
So, well, let's see how this goes.
Let's see how this goes. We'll be keeping an eye closely on this one. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I've been speaking with Daisy Erharhire. She's the business banking lead at Raven Bank. Daisy, it's been a pleasure having you on the show once again.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Lagos, for listening.
All
And
right.
happy New Month to you all.
Thank you so much. Have a great Monday. See you later on in the week. And thank you all for being a part of the show.
Right.
Business Express has been brought to you by Into Switch. Keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast. Yes, it is going to be a September to remember. More great music coming your way. 7:30. Reminder for those who don't know, it's going to be all about the papers on Freshly Pressed.